You are listening to the Legends Lingo podcast, brought to you by CouchGuySports.com. With your host, Al.
Buddy, you were targeted 6 times, you caught 2 receptions, and did nothing else.
Powder.
Yes, sir.
And Fiesta.
He hasn't done jack. They've won one cup and they made a lot of playoff appearances. But he is a snake, oily snake. He's a crook.
Enjoy the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Legends Lingo podcast, episode 99, the Alex Verdugo episode presented by CouchGuySports.com. As always, check out everything on CouchGuySports.com. We have daily blogs out. Powder wrote an article today, 3 breakout pitchers in the MLB. Go check that out. Fiesta, what did you write last week? Just remind everybody.
Actually, I don't remember.
Okay, but anyways, go check out Fiesta's articles because he has some very in-depth and creative thinking for his articles, which is very, very good for our site. So go check that out.
Oh, no, it was the path. Yeah, I remember.
Oh, the path to the playoffs. Well, that's dead.
That's why I didn't want to remember it.
That's dead, and we're going to talk about why it's dead. What else do we have? Obviously, podcasts. Go check out all the podcasts. I can name them all. You know them all by now. CouchGuySports.com. You can check that out. YouTube channel, Couch Guy Sports. Check that out. Twitch channel, blowing up. We've had some good stuff on there lately. The Couch Guy Sports Fantasy Basketball Draft was on there the other night, which was good. I believe Waleed's going to be on today as we record. So that today, Tuesday, December 15th. And on December 17th, which is Thursday, when this comes out, hopefully, there's going to be a little Madden challenge going on. I'm not going to say who's involved, but it's going to be fun. So go check that out. But anyways, I'm Al Nahigian alongside Tom Powder Cadmus, Tom Satham Facette. Boys, we're 1 episode away from that coveted 100th episode.
So close. I can taste it.
You're tasting episodes? That's weird, Powder.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Is quarantine finally getting to you, bud?
Yeah, I think quarantine finally got him. We lost him, Fee. R.I.P. Fee, how are you?
Been having some Zoom trouble, so that's why I'm shocked that I can see you guys. And you can see me.
So if Fee comes in and out, it's because we grilled him on a sports take. No, just kidding. It's because his Zoom went in and out. So hopefully we'll see what happens. Oh. I'm just kidding. But we'll see. Hopefully Fee's connection stays sturdy throughout the whole episode. If you're watching this, if he comes in and out, it's okay. The show will go on. Fee's takes will get out there, and we're going to have some fun tonight before episode 100. But this is episode 99. This is the Alex Verdugo episode. Before we get into everything, we have Patriots, we have Celtics, maybe even a Red Sox rumors, maybe. We'll see what happens. And I have a fun little surprise for the two of these guys that they have no idea about. So I'm looking forward.
When Al's just surprised, it kind of like either is really good or it's just a dud. I'm sorry, Al. It's either really good. I'll give you that. It's either really good or it's like a dud.
This one I think fits appropriately. So we'll say that. We'll say that.
All right. I'll be the judge of that.
You and Powder will be. It's not a one-man show, you dingus. But anyways, we're going to get into the itinerary.
Powder, I'm his client. So.
Itinerary. Itinerary time. Roll call time for all the good fans. Legends roll call. Here we go. Cleveland Indians. That name is going to be no more. As the Cleveland baseball team, I guess we have to call them right now until they get a name. I don't know.
Actually, they're keeping the name until after the 2021 season.
They're not doing the Redskins. They're just
that's dumb.
a Washington football team.
That's dumb. Okay, the Cleveland baseball team will be changing their nickname after the 2021 season. So, yeah, the MLB teams are starting to
should we applaud them for it? You have to ask them. Sorry.
Okay. Florida Gators star forward Keontae Johnson is alert and in stable condition after being in a medically induced coma after collapsing during a Florida State basketball game on Saturday. Obviously, prayers to Keontae Johnson. Glad that he's in a much better place right now. He's stable. He's good to go. So thank goodness for that. Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's not going anywhere. Basketball fans. He's staying in Milwaukee, and that's a big win for the Celtics, and we're going to get into that a little later on in the show. Giannis signed a 5-year, $228.2 million extension with the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis is going to be a Buck through potentially the 2025-2026 season. So we'll see what happens. And finally, the Red Sox. They actually signed somebody. Cue the hooray music. Hooray! Hey, little golf clap from Powder. Red Sox signed outfielder Hunter Renfroe to a 1-year, $3.1 million contract. Renfroe was a part of the Tampa Bay Rays last year and hit an abysmal 156, but he does have some pop in his bat, so he may not hit for average guys, but this guy is going to hit some moonshots out of Fenway, as we've seen in the Twitter viral video with Eckersley being like, oh. So we'll see what Hunter Renfroe can do with the Red Sox, but 1 year, $3.1 million deal. Let's just jump right into it. This Patriots team stinks. This Patriots team is just flat out garbage. So
how do you feel, Al?
Powder, I say this with all the love in the world. Shut up. Patriots, Rams, week 14, Thursday night football. Pats just get flat out obliterated. It wasn't even a game. Rams beat the Patriots 24-3. Patriots dropped their record to 6-7. And Fee, you know I love you, right? Just answer the question.
Yeah.
You know I love you, right? That article that you wrote, I don't think it's going to come into play anymore because this path that the Patriots had is just I don't want to say it's non-existent because it's not non-existent, but it gets a lot.
I mean, if the Ravens lost last night, it would have been a little bit more intriguing.
Right.
But,
yes. So
that nail in the coffin. Just put the nail in the coffin.
So this is what the Patriots going into week 14 had to do. And keep in mind, this was after they lost to the Rams. They needed Miami to lose 3 of their next 4. Miami lost to Kansas City. So therefore, Miami needs to lose 2 out of the next 3 games. Miami's next 3 opponents, the New England Patriots, the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. Corrected myself. I got it. Corrected myself.
Well, you just pissed off a lot of Raiders fans.
What do we care? They don't listen. And the Buffalo Bills to end the season. The Las Vegas Raiders, they had to lose 2 of their last 4. They lost to the Colts on Sunday. So now they'd have to lose 1 out of the next 3 games if the Patriots won out. Keep all this in mind. The Patriots have to win out for all this to happen. Those next 3 games, Los Angeles Chargers, Miami Dolphins, Denver Broncos. This is the kick in the kick in the gut, if you will, for the Patriots. The Ravens would have to lose 2 of their last 4. This was before the Ravens played the Browns on Monday Night Football. Baltimore escapes with a win in Cleveland. So now they would have to lose 2 of their next 3. The Ravens' last 3 games, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the New York Giants, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, guys, this Patriots team is not going to make the playoffs. If Baltimore wasn't in the picture, obviously you feel a lot better about it. But after this game, it's just a situation where we're expecting the worst. We know this Patriots team. And if the Patriots lose on Sunday, that's basically, they're out. They're basically out. Unless they had a million things happen. But they're essentially out if they lose to Miami on Sunday, which we're going to get into in a second. I guess the question that I would ask you guys, and this is a question we brought up on the Couch Guy Sports podcast. Do you want Cam Newton back in the fold next season for the Patriots? And I think this is a great topic because a lot of people are talking about it. And there's mixed, I don't want to say emotions, but there's mixed opinions. And I think you guys know where I stand. I don't want him back. I don't think it's in the team's best interest unless there's absolutely no other options, which I don't think that's the case. I think you can come up with some creative options. But I want to hear from you guys too. Like, what do we think about Cam Newton coming back in 2021? Do you want it or do you not want it? Truthfully.
You want to go first, Patter?
Sure, I'll make it quick. I think the Patriots just need to go in a different direction. I think there's a lot of other things they need to address with going in different direction. We're going to get into it a little later with another topic we're going to get into, but I think the Patriots need a better skill positions, but still I think you need to go in a different direction. The Patriots, I think, are better with a pure passer than a runner, just because you already have good running backs, you have good offensive line. If you have a guy who's good in the passing game, you have both facets. So I think you need someone who's better at passing the ball.
I feel bad for Cam because you have to feel bad. This is the worst constructed offense in football. Let's not be realistic here. Cam was given a shorthand.
Yeah.
You can have both. Like,
right.
There's a discussion. Everybody's like pointing at the Cam discussion. I think any quarterback, probably except for the top 5 quarterbacks in football, would struggle in this offense. With what happened this year. So, truthfully, if you bring back Cam and just Cam alone, if it's Cam and Stidham again, I'll just say that. If it's Cam and Stidham again in camp in 2021, that's a failure. That is a failure.
Right.
Either you could go with a plan where you bring back Cam, but you invest in a first-round pick for a quarterback, and you kind of know it's like, all right, Cam's swan song, first 4 weeks, first 3 weeks, but you know he's going to be out by the halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Or you go get another quarterback, which we'll talk about, or you just draft a guy. And I kind of feel bad because if he did have some decent weapons, he'd probably be having a more decent season, especially in terms of touchdowns. It's just not a fit because the Patriots, as Powder said, are a precision passing offense. Cam likes to stretch the field, down the field, can't do the short passes. Because you saw it on the game. I mean, he threw a couple of good balls to N'Keal Harry. I mean, N'Keal Harry.
N'Keal Harry, nice of him to actually show up, make some big boy catches.
I think they're finally using him right. Finally, like, all right, go get the football, which is about damn time. Where was this the last 2 years now? So that's another story for another day because I felt like they've been using him wrong. But anyway, that's where I think that if it's just Cam and Stidham, you did something wrong. If it's Cam, but you drafted a quarterback and you know that quarterback's going to take over, it's not the worst thing in the world because I think that might happen. But I do think that he's probably not going to be back. But if that does happen, you need a plan. There's no plan.
Right. And that's the thing. So speaking of plan, that's a great transition. Nice job, Fee. Here's a transition. One name that's been floated out there into the universe, Matt Stafford. Keep in mind, Matt Stafford been on some pretty poor Lions teams that haven't done much, and they're not doing much again this year. If the window of opportunity was there, and it was like, okay, Matt Stafford will be the quarterback for, say, the next 2 years. Let's just say we're going to throw out a low number, 2 years, 2021
signed
season.
for 3 more years with Detroit.
Yeah. Okay, so in that case, fine, you get him for 3 more years if you could pull something off. Yeah. Would you guys, in this sense, want a guy in Stafford for 3 years to either draft a quarterback like Fiesta was mentioning and like you mentioned, Powder, and then bring them along slowly? Maybe you still try to develop Stidham. I don't think that's going to happen, but again, it's another possibility. I might be okay with Matt Stafford being in the fold, especially with a good offensive line and having some weapons in the running game. And then you go out and get, a receiver or two, maybe a decent tight end, unless you really think Asiasi and Dalton Keene are your answers for the future. I mean, why not at this point? Because you need something in there. You need a different direction. Just like Fee was saying, you need a different direction. You need a direction. It's not far-fetched.
I mean, I can start. I mean, you got to know what you're going to get with Matthew Stafford. You're going to get 26 to 32 touchdowns, 10 to 13 picks.
Right.
And he's going to play right now. He's playing on a 5-8 team. He probably has a broken rib. We're pretty damn close to it right now. What happened last week, and he's trying to play on Sunday on an 8-5 team. This has been a theme in Detroit. Imagine if that happened here. Imagine if he came here and played hurt and did everything, but played well. People would love it here. People would love it. He's an option. I know that Albert Breer mentioned it. I know that Peter King mentioned it. That's a possibility. There is something weird going on in Detroit. I did hear a couple of other names. I want to throw it out to you guys. And then Powder can make his point. I heard Gardner Minshew as a name. And I know you're shaking your head, but I looked at his numbers. They're actually not bad for a Jacksonville Jaguar team. And I know you're shaking your head, but they're not bad. And then Carson Wentz is another.
No, thank you. Nope. No, thank you. No Carson Wentz, no Gardner Minshew. Give me anybody else. I'll take anybody else.
Well, those are the only ones available.
If they're then obviously you have to try to see you. Maybe I don't know.
Because the Matthew Stafford thing is going to be complicated because
right. No, I get that.
So I get it. I know that people want to bring Jimmy G back, but he hasn't been healthy the last 3 years. So, yeah. Otter.
Yeah, I was just listening to another Couch Guys Sports podcast, Small States, Big Takes, and they're arguing about whether Matt Stafford would have been better than Cam for the Pats this year. And I think he just would have been. He just, even though, yes, the Patriots don't have great weapons, but still, he's a pure passer. And a lot of people talk about he's going to be a borderline case for Hall of Fame when his career is over. If you look at his numbers, he's, like Fiesta said, 26 to 32 touchdowns a year. He's over 4,000 yards a year. Like, he just has ridiculous numbers. I think he would be good in a very well-coached offense. So I think Stafford would be a good option, but if it was between Minshew and Wentz, I would take Wentz all day.
Yes,
So-
that I agree with.
So I will say this. I do think that, there's another name being thrown out there in the dark webs of Twitter. So Andrew Luck, but we won't get to that unless it becomes serious. But
yes,
they have to find a direction. I think Matthew Stafford does address it because that's the first thing they have to address. If they want to bring in any key free agents, they need to have a direction at quarterback. Either they're going to say, yeah, we're going to draft a quarterback, and I think you're going to see it pretty quickly what direction they go in because you're going to have a really big indication. I wouldn't mind Matthew Stafford because I think it would make everything a little better. And you could focus your first round pick and your early draft picks probably on the rest of the team because there's a lot of holes too.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
That Mike Reese article kind of says it all. It's like kind of kicking the can, and it kind of feel bad for Cam because it's just like he's gonna get. So some fans are gonna blame him for this when it's really not entirely his fault.
No, I think it's fair to say it's a 50-50 split. You didn't get the weapons that you needed to. There were no weapons for Cam, like you just said, but it's also been partly on Cam too for some missed throws
I
and
would
everything.
give it 50-50. When they traded Garoppolo, you knew that there was a time clock to get the next guy.
Yeah.
You knew that. So it's like, you're looking at me like, oh, it's Cam's. No, you had 3 years to get the next quarterback. And
I see what you mean, but I'm saying for this season. Now, you are correct. You're correct. When they traded Garoppolo, they should have gotten the guy. I agree with you there. 100%. But the fact is, like, they didn't. And unfortunately, you're right. They should have. But now this year.
You can't say 50-50 when it's clearly.
Then what would you put it? Then what would you put it at?
70-30 Belichick. Belichick had all offseason to get weapons because Cam signed in late June. He had the offseason, the draft, to build a team and didn't do it. Like Cam was a street pickup because they looked at Sim and were like, oh, he's not ready. Literally, that's what happened.
Okay. Well, we'll see what direction the Patriots go in for quarterback.
I know you disagree because I know you don't like Cam, but you got to be like fair. If Cam had the entire offseason, then yeah, it's just because
if I wasn't being fair, I would say that it's 100% Cam's fault.
But you said 50-50. You're just like, oh, well, he gets half the blame when it's really Belichick that deserves the majority.
Excuse me. Sorry. Choked on my water wrong. Sheesh, that's going to look bad when the video comes out. We'll agree to disagree on that. We'll agree to disagree. That's totally fair. We can agree to disagree. We can agree to disagree on this show.
Oh, no, you're just copting out because you just don't want to talk and make
No, it's not. No, it's not a cop-out. It's not a cop-out at all. We have other topics we have to discuss too. So let's move on. So Patriots, Dolphins, good discussion. We'll see what happens next year. Hopefully, maybe Cam Newton will be back in the fold. Maybe he won't. We'll see what happens. But Pats, Dolphins, week 15. It's a must win. Dolphins, I don't want to say they lead the league in takeaways, but they're a team that gets a lot of takeaways in this league. I mean, they intercepted Patrick Mahomes 3 times last week. So they are a defense that can cause havoc, and they're playing well under Brian Flores, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. Are they in the wild card right now? Like, if the season ended today,
they're the 7th seed.
They're the 7th seed? Okay. So this Miami Dolphins team they're a good team. They're playing down in Miami. You guys know as well as I know, crazy things happen in Miami. And honestly, I think this is where the Patriots season officially, like 100%, is just like done. I'm going Miami this is tough to say, but I got Miami 31, Patriots 17. I mean, it's something where I just think that I don't know what's going to happen. We might see another pick six like we did in the Rams game. I don't know. It's weird. It's just been a weird season, and it's only going to continue to get weirder. So I'll kick it to Fee, and then I'll kick it to Powder. Fee, go ahead.
I mean, the Dolphins are going to have the 3 top targets out on Sunday. The Gesicki's hurt. He broke his shoulder. If you watch the game, he broke his shoulder. Parker has a hamstring problem. Their top running back's going to be out. And they have like the 29th ranked offense in football. I actually think the Patriots might win this game like 16-13. Like the Dolphins, like they score points in garbage. Let's say that on Sunday. They were down a lot. So I think the Patriots can win this game because I don't trust Tua.
I like it. Powder?
Yeah, like Fiesta said, I think it's going to be a good game. I think if Patriots come out and play, maybe Belichick lit a fire under them, and hopefully they come out and play with some pride and get a win. I think the Patriots need a win just to salvage the season. There's no hope of making the playoffs, but I don't want to see Patriots go like 7-9 or something like that. I want them finish with at least 8-8. I want them at least be 500. So hopefully they can come out. I'm going to say the Patriots come out with a fire under their butts and they win this game. I'll say 21-17.
21-17. Okay. Close games. I like it. So we'll see what happens maybe next week on episode 100, depending on what we talk about. Could be really anything for next week, and we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But before we get into Celtics, guys, you know as well as I do who the great sponsor of this show is. It is none other than our friends at Manscaped. Because listen up, fellas, 2020 has sucked. It's been horrible the whole year. But it's almost the new year, which means new balls with our sponsor at Manscaped. Manscaped is the best in men's below the waist grooming, which offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels and helps 2 million men all over the world get rid of hair on their junk. If you let yourself go in 2020 during quarantine, like I'm sure a lot of us did, Manscaped is here for you to reboot and stay clean and shaved in 2021. Manscaped is here to give you a fresh start in 2021 with their Perfect Package 3.0 that has all the right tools for the job. Come out of quarantine with clean, you know what? Thanks to the Lawnmower 3.0, this waterproof and skin-safe trimmer will reduce nicks to your 2 best friends. 3rd-generation trimmer, yeah, that trimmer that you need. It even has a light to give you the glow-up that you need in 2021. It's almost time to freshen up down there this new year with the Crop Preserver, which is an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? And for on-the-go freshness, you will love the Crop Reviver Ball Toner Spray. 2020 was awful, so make sure your boys are refreshed and ready for new beginnings in 2021. Manscaped even threw in their shed travel bag to keep all your goodies stored comfortably. Speaking of comfort, the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs are also included and are hands down the best underwear you will ever wear. A guy with hairy junk is like the year 2020. Guess what? You don't want to be that guy. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code LLP at manscaped.com. Your junk's going to thank you. Again, 20% off with free shipping with the code LLP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off again, free shipping, manscaped.com. Use the promo code LLP, and Happy New Year to your junk. Getting into it now, Celtics, as we're recording, playing a preseason game against the Philadelphia 76ers. And I'm not sure if anybody has the score right now, but I'm looking now. I don't see a score yet, but there's a lot of excitement for this team. They're opening up next week. I believe it's the Bucks and then the Nets are their first 2 games. They're playing the Bucks on the 22nd, the Nets on Christmas, I'm pretty sure. So let me ask you guys this. Right now, if you had to put the Celtics at a seed in the Eastern Conference, preseason, obviously, preseason ranking, where would you put the Celtics in the East right now?
I would go 4. I think the Raptors still are going to be good. I think Bucks still are going to be good. I'll give them 3. I think they'll be 3. I think Raptors and Bucks just get the 1-2 seeds, and then Celtics will be 3.
Okay. Feet?
Yeah, I think the 3rd seed, it depends on what Brooklyn does. If Durant's Durant, kind of screwed anyway. That's for the whole entire East. If Durant is back to himself, the second best player alive right now, currently in the game, or in that case, yeah, you're going to probably be the third seed again, maybe the fourth. Depends on what happens in Philly too. If Doc gets the most out of Embiid and Simmons, but you're going to be a good team. You're probably going to make a good playoff run. I really don't trust the Bucks, so I think the Celtics are going to be probably the 3 seed at the most.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say 3 is a good spot. I'd say if things went right, you could maybe even say they're like on the cusp of jumping up to 2, which again, you'd have to have things go right, like the Bucks sliding, the Nets not performing to where we think they're going to perform with KD and Kyrie now in the fold this year. I mean, this team, it's going to be an exciting team to watch because obviously you have majority of your core back from last year. Gordon Hayward, I know, is in Charlotte, but you picked up Tristan Thompson for rebounding purposes. You picked up Jeff Teague as a legitimate backup point guard. You got some shooters in the draft, Aaron Naismith, Peyton Pritchard. Hopefully we'll bring a spark off the bench as far as shooting goes. We'll see what's going to happen with this team. I mean, the first half, and I think we all talked about this in the group chat, and I think we all can sort of agree, this team has the opportunity to win, what do they play, about 47 games before the All-Star break, like right around there. Not an exact amount, but like right around there, I think.
They play 38.
That's it? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 47 for some reason. I don't know why. I think it was because when Celtics put it out on Twitter, I think that's why. I think I went off that. So if it's 38 games, I could see them going 26-12, right around there. Good, solid start to your season, something along those lines. But again, it's going to be nice to have a Celtics team that is going to be right in the thick of things again, especially in the East. And we mentioned this before in the roll call, so we can bring it up now. Fee, I know you wanted to talk about this, so I definitely want to ask you this first. Giannis signs that big extension, which is about $45.6 million a year. I think the stat was he's earning like 1.4 cents every second now. That's just crazy to think about. With that being said, he signs in Milwaukee. Is that a win for the Celtics in the sense that he doesn't go to a team like Miami, like you mentioned, and makes them even more of a powerhouse?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a win. I mean, your window, it's status quo. I mean, for the next 2 seasons, probably status quo, but I mean, Milwaukee gets a max slot in 2 years. And a lot can change in the NBA in 2 years. And now this kind of probably forces like somebody like Miami to really up the ante to probably get a James Harden to the East. I mean, it's interesting. It probably keeps everything status quo. Nothing really changes, but it should be that type of thing.
Powder?
I just think it makes it a little tougher for Bucks to move players and try and grow their team. Obviously, that's a huge cap hit, but I don't think it's a huge thing. I think the Celtics, if they play the way I think they can, and they are on paper, I think they can still handle the Bucks. So it's just good for the Bucks. They're going to keep Giannis, but I just don't think it changes much, like Fee said.
Okay. All right. So the Celtics, again, it's going to be a fun season. It's going to be a season where hopefully they get maybe the 2 seed. They're probably going to stick around the 3 seed, like we all have been saying. So again, we'll see what happens with the Celtics season. Final topic for the night. Red Sox, really quick. We mentioned they signed Hunter Renfroe. The Mets made a move. They signed catcher James McCann from the Chicago White Sox. So that would mean that they're not pretty much, but they're out of the running for Phillies catcher JT Realmuto, who is going to be a free agent. So does it go back to Fiesta's theory that's starting to look more and more like it could happen, where you sign a guy like Realmuto, you trade Christian Vasquez to get that ace? Like, is it possible now? Like, is it actually possible with the Mets making that move? That's the one thing that I just wanted to talk about really quick, because I know the 3 of us are big Red Sox guys. So, Powder, I guess I'll start with you, then I'll kick it to Fee. Like, is a move possible now?
Yeah, the Red Sox just need to get up and go sign JT Realmuto. There's definitely a few teams that want to sign him. The Angels are big on him. I think the Phillies are out, so Mets are out. It's really like the Angels, and that's really it. So hopefully the Red Sox can be the ones who come in with a big contract and say, hey, come play for us, and then trade Vasquez. Maybe not for Blake Snell, but there's plenty of other pitchers that they can probably get with a Vasquez and maybe a couple prospects. So I definitely think it opens the door for the Red Sox to get Real Muto.
Go ahead, Fee.
We'll see. I mean, it's been kind of tight vest with the Red Sox, so who knows? I think they're probably focusing more on pitching than anything else, so we'll see.
All right. Really quick before we end the show, it's going to be Christmas next week, getting in the Christmas spirit. Just real quick, what's your favorite Christmas movie of all time? I was going to do a snake draft with it, but for the sake of time, we'll just say favorite Christmas movie.
Rudolph.
Rudolph.
The claymation. I love that.
That's a good one. Fee?
Home Alone. Come on.
That's a good one too. Home Alone's a good one. What was the other one? There's a few good ones. National Lampoon's is a good one. My favorite personally.
I think that's a little overrated. I'm sorry. That's a little.
No, that's fair. That's totally fair. I'm not saying it's
and
mine.
I like Chevy Chase. I think that it's a little overrated.
That's totally fair. Totally fair. For me, I mean, there's a few of them. Not Die Hard. Polar Express is up there. I mean, kids movie, great movie. Oh, yeah. Muppet Christmas Carol is a good one. I'd say Muppet Christmas Carol. My mom and I watch it together every single year. It's like our little tradition. So that's my favorite. So just wanted to get a little touch of Christmas in here. But guys, episode 100 is next week.
Oh my God. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you guys ready is the question.
I am.
Fee, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So we have episode 100 coming next week. The plan is to try to get some guests on. We have been in contact with a few. We're just waiting for a few to get back to us, but we're pretty confident that we'll have a few guests from our past back on with us. Maybe we'll even get a few Couch Guy Sports people. Maybe we'll even get new guests. Who knows? The opportunities are endless. Again, couchguysports.com, couchguysportsshop.com. Go get your sweatshirts, your sweatpants, hats, all that good stuff. Go check it out. Manscaped.com, 20% off. And free shipping with promo code LLP. If nothing else, guys, any final thoughts before we head out?
Just be ready for next week, episode 100.
All right.
Get ready, folks.
All right, let's get ready. For episode 99, we got Tom Sanfacet on the bottom. We got Tom Powder Cadmus. And we got myself, Al. Thank you for listening. And thank you for watching episode 99. We'll see you next week for episode 100.
Yes, sir.